Hi, this is Naomi Bennett with Learn Astrology Now, and this is the forecast for December the 5th, 2010. We had a little bit of a volatile week last week with the market gyrating up and down with the continuing scare of the bankruptcy and default of the Bank of Ireland and the government of Ireland. Which is still severe and is putting great pressure on the Germans. And there's still a possibility that they may be breaking up the EU because of that. And I think that's just the beginning of the problems that are going to be showing up in Europe and continuing in the U.S. as the continuing depression continues, despite what the U.S. government says, is that the loss of jobs and revenue is starting to trickle down into the government, and they are no longer being able to provide the kind of services that we all expect. So the market panicked on Monday and Tuesday and then stabilized after that. But December is a very difficult month, and we will be going into that. Be sure and look at my prior forecast. It was in two parts for the end of the year, December 2010, part 1 and part 2, that explains the entire pattern, because this podcast is for weekly events rather than for a long-term forecast. And so we did that for this critical 6 weeks period that we're in. And Friday was a Mars square Uranus, so things can come to an abrupt end, or you can have unexpected surprises or violence. Although I noticed on the news we didn't seem to have marked amounts of violence. What we did have is massive fires in Israel and in Venezuela. But from my combing of the internet, I didn't see that there were other major events that were taking attention. So with this, be sure and listen to the other prior podcasts that I have, YouTubes I have done for the end of the year, because it's much more laying out of this pattern. But I think that we will have a difficult holiday season, and I hope that you can do your best during this time. So generally when there are difficult aspects, we say in astrology, if you act under the negative, you will magnify the negative. If you act under the positive, you will magnify the positive. So it's all about your own reaction to events, and then what kind of actions you take during that time. And this is a much better time to not overreact, not say too much, and then wait to see if the events can unfold and solve themselves, rather than you stepping in to try and solve the problem, because generally you won't have enough information and you'll make mistakes and make it worse. So it's better to hold off on the reaction and wait for this difficult period to pass and then make major decisions. But sometimes life doesn't give us that choice, and we simply have to do something. So with this, we wish you the very best of the week, and have a great holiday. Expect another podcast, newscast next week. This is the daily forecast for the week of December 5th, 2010. We start on Sunday with the moon in Sagittarius. It is a new moon, so that's usually a start of new beginnings. But we are finishing up a Mars square Uranus. So this week, we should have had some unexpected surprises and change of events that were startling. But we also have Venus trine Neptune, sextile the lunar node, and Mercury. That's very good for the movies. That's very good for the arts and creativity, and romantic social relationships. So your romantic social life should be good, but business aspects can be difficult because there's unexpected changes during that time. And remember that the moon in Sagittarius is a high for Sagittarians and a low for Geminis. On Monday the 6th, the moon is still in Sagittarius. But the moon is now conjunct Mars today and square Uranus. So you're still likely to see some emotional volatility today. But the Sun is sextile Saturn. That's very good for habits, routines, organizations, contracts, and general corporation requirements. And then on Tuesday the 7th, the moon moves into Capricorn. That means it's a cycle high for all Capricornians, a cycle low for Cancer. Mars comes closer to the conjunction with the lunar node. It's 4 degrees applying, so we're likely to see more volatility with business and in sports upsets during this time. But the Sun is exact on Tuesday to the sextile of Saturn. So again, that's very good for contracts, for business, doing organizational habits and routines, and corporations. Those are all very positive for positive communications and utilizing social contacts. Then we come to Wednesday the 8th. The moon is still in Capricorn. It's coming to a square of Uranus, but Venus is squaring Pluto, so that can emphasize new projects, new people, people of a younger generation or children, and of doing more work regarding those with those kind of people. And then on Thursday the 9th, the moon moves into Aquarius. It stays in Aquarius on Thursday and Friday. It's a cycle high for Aquarius, a cycle low for Leo. And on Thursday, the Venus comes to the sextile of the lunar node and Pluto, so that is a positive, again, working with the younger people. On Friday, with the moon still in Aquarius, the moon is also trine Saturn, so again, you have a very good day for business, for organization, for habits and routines. On Saturday, the moon moves into Pisces. It's trine Venus, and so that's cycle high for Venus, cycle low for Virgo, but excellent for social relationships on Saturday. And the Mars moves closer to the lunar node, so we're likely to still see some upsets next week, but that's the bulk of the changes and events by the day for the week of December 5th. This is Naomi Bennett with Learn Astrology Now, signing off. Have a good week.